What's good, people? What's good, family? I hope all is well. Thank you for making it to another episode. I think this is week 8, episode 8. This is 2 months. This is 2 months. Let's give a round of applause. Round of applause. Because, Lord, the consistency. I think tonight I want to talk about a particular subject that will allow leaders to level up. Do many realize there's a difference between bouncing back and being resilient and actually growing up and growing from what one has survived through? See, resilience keep us going, those that have it, that are resilient, but it is maturity that keeps you becoming. And that's what I want to talk about tonight, the difference between resilience and maturity and why leaders should not confuse the two. Let's talk about it.
What's good, family?
Resilience isn't enough. Why leaders need more than a bounce back. That's what I want to talk about tonight. Whatever area of leadership that you've been placed in, it is important to have a level of self-awareness so that you're able to get distinction between the difference. Because ultimately, when it comes to resilience, all resilience is the ability to recover after hardship. That is what resilience is at its core. And when it comes to maturity, in this particular aspect, spiritual maturity, it's the ability to be developed in hardship. So let me give you an analogy. You think about a rubber band. A rubber band would be considered resilient. It would have the elasticity, if you will, to handle being stretched. When you compare it to the process of a diamond, that would be maturity under pressure. See, one is survival and the other is surrender. Ultimately, leaders need both, because if you don't have both, then what can happen is you have what we call fake growth, fraudulent growth. We have a society now, where you have so many people, so many leaders that have this badge that I move on fast. I don't let nothing bother me. I've met a lot of people like that. Matter of fact, you'll find a lot of self-sabotage because they move into a level of self-preservation. There's so much that can come from that. But when you hear those type of things, I don't let things bother me, I just deal and just move on. Often what that happens is sometimes they can be defined as a trauma response. And some of the things that you'll notice as a result of that is people like that will avoid hard conversations. Either they'll withdraw, a zone out, or just, ghost you. It's just so much because of a trauma response. They'll ignore emotional wounds. You just skip over it. Then it'll place you in a position to be leading with unprocessed pain. And that's impactful. When you see people like that, they'll look strong. They got it. But the way they lead is shallow. It's very shallow. Because they'll be passing their unresolved things onto their team, sometimes families, parents, organizations, whatever realm of leadership. That's typically who becomes a casualty of all those things. And that is why it is so important to mature, to become, because maturity is choosing to surrender over speed. See, the maturity, ultimately what it is, it's allowing challenges to shape you, not just skipping over them. We have such a society today. I mean, when you look at it, people, even relationships, people can be in relationships, things can go well one minute, even in very intimate relationships. Some people can be married today, divorced tomorrow. It's an issue of maturity in most cases. You probably never got married. At all. Oh, I know y'all not gonna like that. Yeah, but it's a thing you'll discover has something to do with some area of maturity, because we're choosing speed over surrender, and we're not allowing challenges to shape us. We just skip over them like it's just, well, whatever. And eventually, what happens is that when you find leaders who don't slow down to reflect and grow in empathy, you'll discover many who don't make wise decisions. Not only you don't make wise decisions, but you never transform. You never transform. And that is what's supposed to happen as a mature leader when it comes to surviving and going through a lot of things. And that's what puts you in the realm of thriving, transforming, becoming what all of this in life that you've had to be resilient about regarding is making you and molding you to and shaping you as a leader. But it is impossible. I want you to hear this. It's impossible to obtain these things without humility, patience, reflection, and something that's a cuss word in this day and time, accountability. Oops, please excuse me. Accountability. See, look at it like this. Resilience, it makes you durable. That's what it does. Resilience makes you durable. And maturity makes you trustworthy. Trust is the fuel for all things in life. And without it, you're going to have some problems. You'll have a difficulty experiencing the fulfillment and the fullness and the fulfillment of all things in life in whatever capacity it may be. Even in one's relationship with people, relationship with God, the more that you can be found trustworthy, the more access you have to things. We live in a society now, everybody looking for a reward. If I do this, a reward. I do this. But sometimes you'll discover, even if you look at the story of Job, that trust is greater than reward. If I know a millionaire, I may do something for a millionaire, he'll give me a reward, fine. But if the millionaire trusts me, if I've shown myself trustworthy enough, whatever that millionaire got, I can have access to. Why? Because of trustworthiness. That's what maturity does. Resilience makes you durable and maturity makes you trustworthy. So that leads us to a bigger question. How can one move from surviving to maturing? Because that's really the big point of me sharing this tonight and talking about this in this episode, because I want to see betterment in leadership as a whole. If leaders cannot lead and be better, more than likely society won't be. And that's why it's so important and vital. But the first thing you have to do from a practical capacity is you have to face it. Don't numb pain. You have to acknowledge it. Take ego out the way. Acknowledge it. And then when I utilize the word surrender and surrendering it, sometimes you have to just let God or mentors or just process as a whole shape you. That's what you have to do. And then you have to heal it. And you have to heal it. Whether you have to do therapy, prayer, reflection, whatever is needed for a true restoration. That's a true bounce back, getting healed. And then after you get healed, then you live it. You got to live out of wholeness, not just toughness. Huh? Am I talking good in there? You got to. And that's how you mature. You move from just surviving to not only maturing, but thriving as well. See, resilience gets you through the storm, but it's maturity that makes sure the storm doesn't live in you. When will surviving and being resilient will translate to becoming? What are we to have become from all the things we've been resilient and have survived? When can we break cycles? When will it stop being the man's fault? When will it stop being Republicans' fault or Democrat fault? When can we get past this? Not forgetting, how can we utilize these things to make us become what we are supposed to be as a result of all of this? When can we stop being stuck? That's ultimately what I'm trying to say. These are keys to get you unstuck, because we can't continue to be limited and and run around, circle around a mountain. It's time to go higher. Resilience is good, but it's just not enough. It's not enough. You have to ask yourself, am I bouncing back, or am I really just growing up? Am I growing up? So it's time for us to live. We got to, again, face it. You got to surrender it. You got to heal it. And then you got to live it. We got to do better. We got to be better. I hope this was some good perspective for those who desire to level up, those that want to break the ceiling, those that have been stuck. And we got to level up. This world, not just America, this world needs what you have. They need it. And you may be down, but you ain't out. Now, if you just stay stuck surviving, you'll stay down. But you can come out when you go higher. You got to mature. We got to go to the next level. These are things that people can apply immediately. That's what I desire to do. It's just to give insight and wisdom, but things that can just be, you can utilize it right now. You just have to make a decision and stick with it. You got to stick with it. So you want to see the fruit of everything that one has endured so that we can continue to move and go to the next level and rise above circumstances. I tell people often that it's not circumstances that define you. They don't have to merely define you. It's what you do with them that ultimately defines you. But my time is gone. Leave your thoughts, ideas in the comments, any subject, something you want to talk about or share. Let me know. I'm open to it. Like I said, this is a safe space for leaders that need those that are trying to level up, defy odds and stuff. This is your safe space. Like, share, subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. And I wanna thank you. Can I take 1 minute to express myself? I'm so grateful.